If you have ever stood in your bathroom or your kitchen, looked at two simple ingredients and thought, surely this cannot do that much, I understand. I truly do. Because I used to think the same thing. There was a time in my 50s when my skin was changing, my joints were stiffer, my feet were dry no matter what I used, and I felt like I was spending more and more money on products that promised everything and delivered very little. And one of the things midlife teaches you, sometimes the hard way, is this: simple does not always mean weak. Sometimes simple is exactly where relief begins. Today I want to talk with you about two humble ingredients many women already have at home: castor oil and baking soda. Not as a miracle, not as magic, and certainly not as a cure-all, but as a simple home care blend that some women find helpful for dry skin, rough heels, minor irritation, scalp buildup, and areas of stiffness when used carefully and sensibly. We are going to walk through what this mixture may help with, how to use it in a practical way, and just as important, when you should not use it. Because around here, we do not chase hype. We care for ourselves with warmth, common sense, and a little wisdom. Age is just the beginning, and that means learning how to support our bodies without falling for every dramatic claim on the internet. So let's start with why these two ingredients get so much attention in the first place. Castor oil is thick, rich, and deeply moisturizing. It has been used for generations in home beauty and wellness routines because it coats the skin beautifully and helps hold moisture in. That alone can make a real difference, especially after 50, when skin often becomes thinner, drier, and more sensitive than it used to be. Baking soda, on the other hand, is a gentle household staple that can help loosen surface buildup and soften rough patches when used in very small amounts. It is simple, it is inexpensive, and when combined carefully, these two can create a paste that works like a basic home treatment for certain external concerns. Now, I want to say this clearly right at the start. More is not better. Stronger is not better. And just because something is natural does not mean it is right for everyone. Sensitive skin is real. Allergies are real. Irritation is real. So throughout this conversation, I want you to think of this blend as an occasional support, not something to rub on every part of your body with wild abandon. One of the most common reasons women try castor oil and baking soda is for dry, dull, or rough skin. If your elbows are rough, your heels feel like sandpaper, or your hands look tired and thirsty, this mixture can sometimes help by doing two simple things at once. The castor oil softens and seals in moisture. The baking soda helps lift away that top layer of dead, flaky skin. And sometimes that is enough to make skin feel calmer, smoother, and more cared for. A simple way to try it is to mix about 1 tablespoon of castor oil with a small amount of baking soda, just enough to make a soft paste. Then massage it gently into rough areas for a minute or two. Let it sit briefly and rinse with warm water. Afterward, apply a plain moisturizer if your skin likes that. Nothing fancy, nothing complicated, just supportive care. Another area where many women get curious is joint and muscle comfort, and I understand why. By the time we reach our 60s, many of us have one knee that talks back, a shoulder that has opinions, or hands that remind us when the weather changes. The warming ritual of massaging a thick oil into sore areas can feel comforting all on its own. That does not mean the mixture is curing arthritis. It is not. But the act of slow massage, warmth, and moisture may help you feel a little more ease in your body, especially at the end of the day. If you want to try it that way, use a small amount of the paste on the area, massage gently, and then cover it with a warm cloth for 10 or 15 minutes. Sometimes the ritual matters as much as the ingredient. Sometimes the body softens because we finally slowed down long enough to care for it. Some women also use this blend on very dry feet and cracked heels, and honestly, this is one of the more practical uses. Our feet carry us through decades of life. They deserve better than neglect. Castor oil is wonderfully thick, and when paired with a tiny bit of baking soda to smooth roughness, It can be a lovely little reset for tired feet. Massage it into the heels and balls of the feet. Let it sit for a few minutes, rinse, and then put on socks if you want the moisture to stay in overnight. Scalp care is another area where simple remedies can be surprisingly useful. As hormones shift, the scalp can become dry, flaky, oily, or just plain confused. A very small amount of castor oil can help soften dryness, while a touch of baking soda may loosen buildup from styling products or dead skin. I do mean a touch. The scalp is sensitive, and too much baking soda can be irritating. So if you try this, be gentle. Massage lightly, leave it on briefly, and wash thoroughly. This is not something I would do often, but as an occasional reset, some women enjoy it. Then there is the matter of hands, nails, and cuticles. I do not know about you, but my hands started telling my age before the rest of me did. Years of washing, cleaning, gardening, and just living can leave the skin dry and the cuticles ragged. Castor oil is beautiful here because it is thick enough to stay put. A tiny pinch of baking soda can help lift dry skin around the nails, but the real star is the moisture. If your nails are brittle or your cuticles feel rough, this can be a soothing little evening ritual. And yes, some people use this mixture on the appearance of uneven skin texture, old marks, or places they simply want to soften and smooth. I would keep expectations realistic. Skin changes over time. That is part of living. But gentle exfoliation plus rich moisture can make the skin look fresher and feel softer. And sometimes that is all we are after. Not perfection, just comfort, just care, just feeling a little more at home in our skin. I also want to speak to the emotional side of this for a moment, because that matters too. When a woman has spent decades caring for everyone else, something as small as making a simple paste, massaging it into her hands, and sitting still for 10 minutes can feel surprisingly powerful. Not because the mixture is extraordinary, but because the act is. You have spent your whole life caring for others. It is time to care for yourself. That matters. Now, there are a few more traditional uses people talk about, and I want to walk through them with both curiosity and caution. Some women like using a tiny amount on dry lips, followed by wiping it away gently. Some use it on rough knuckles or elbows. Some use it as a brief hand mask. Some apply it around, not into, areas of minor surface irritation after a patch test. And some enjoy the soothing effect of warming the oil slightly before using it on tight muscles or dry skin. Those are the kinds of uses that make practical sense to me. External, simple, conservative, and easy to stop if your skin does not like it. Where I want to be more careful is with the exaggerated claims. I know the internet loves to tell us that one mixture can solve 20 problems by Tuesday. That is not how real wellness works. A home remedy can support comfort. It can improve a routine. It can soften, soothe, and simplify. But it should not replace medical care when something truly needs attention. So let's talk about when not to use this mixture. Do not use it on broken skin, open wounds, or anything that looks infected. Do not put it near the eyes. Do not use it internally unless a qualified medical professional specifically tells you to do so. I personally would not recommend taking castor oil by mouth just because someone online said it was natural. Our digestive systems, medications, and health histories are too individual for that kind of guesswork. If you have eczema, rosacea, very sensitive skin, or a history of reacting to skincare products, start with a patch test on a small area first. Wait a full day, see how your skin responds. If you feel burning, stinging, redness, or irritation, wash it off and let it go. Your skin is not failing, it is communicating. If you are pregnant, breastfeeding, managing a skin condition, or dealing with a chronic medical issue, talk with your doctor before trying new remedies, even topical ones. And if you have ongoing swelling, unexplained pain, a rash that spreads, a nail infection that worsens, or a skin lesion that does not heal, please get it evaluated. That is not the moment for a kitchen remedy. That is the moment for proper medical care. The other important thing is frequency. You do not need to use this every day on every area. In fact, for many women, less is better. Once or twice a week on rough heels or dry hands may be plenty. An occasional scalp treatment may be plenty. A brief massage on stiff areas from time to time may be plenty. Wellness is not about doing the most. It is about doing what helps without creating new problems. And please choose your ingredients thoughtfully. A plain, cold-pressed castor oil is usually the best place to start. Fragrance-free, simple, no unnecessary extras. For baking soda, you only need a small amount. Think support, not scrub. Gentle, not aggressive. What I love most about little rituals like this is not that they promise transformation overnight. It is that they invite us back into relationship with our bodies. A relationship built on listening instead of punishing, on observing instead of criticizing, on tending instead of attacking. That is especially important in midlife and beyond, when so many women feel like their bodies have become strangers to them. Your body is not betraying you. It is changing. It is asking for different kinds of support now. More kindness, more patience, more strength, more softness. Sometimes a simple remedy can be part of that. Not because it fixes everything, but because it reminds you that care does not have to be complicated to be meaningful. If you try castor oil and baking soda, I want you to do it with a calm, steady mindset. Keep your expectations realistic. Notice what your skin or your scalp or your feet are telling you. Let the ritual be slow. Let it be supportive. Let it be one small way of saying, I am worth the effort. Because vibrant does not have an age limit. Feeling good in your skin does not have an age limit. Learning new ways to care for yourself does not have an age limit. And if this little blend ends up helping your dry heels, your rough hands, or your evening self-care routine feel a bit more nourishing, then wonderful. That is enough. We do not need miracles to make our lives better. Sometimes we just need small, steady things that actually help. So be wise with it. Be gentle with yourself. Use it where it makes sense. Skip it where it does not. And remember, the goal is never to fight your age. The goal is to support the woman you are now with honesty, tenderness, and practical care. That is where real wellness begins.